In the silence that spread on the outskirts of the village, the air wrapped like a cool blanket. The darkness of the night had engulfed everything, except the twinkling stars that looked like scattered pearls from an old story. Mina stood outside her old wooden house, her eyes fixed on the dense forest in the distance. The forest, which had surrounded the village for centuries, looked like an unsolved puzzle. Its shape, even in the darkness, felt like a huge, scary presence. "Mina, it's getting dark. Come inside." Her grandmother's voice broke the silence that hung in the air. There was a slight worry in the voice, a worry that was visible on every old face in the village when the sun set. Mina took a deep breath, the cool air filling her lungs. "Just looking at this forest, Grandma, it's so peaceful and scary at the same time." Grandma stood in the doorway, her wrinkled fingers clutching the wooden frame tightly. "Quiet? It only seems quiet to you, my child. This forest has its own sounds, its own stories, and some of those stories, they won't let you sleep at night." There was a strange seriousness in her voice that had always troubled Mina. "What stories, Grandma? The same old ones, about ghosts and witches?" Mina tried to laugh, but felt a lump of fear in her throat. Grandma shook her head. "It's not just old stuff, Mina. It's the truth. There's something in this forest that has been asleep for centuries, and when it wakes up, it wreaks havoc on the village." Her eyes, usually full of love and kindness, now had a strange gleam. "But what is it? No one tells us. Everyone just whispers and is afraid." There was an impatience in Mina's voice. She had come here from the city to stay with her grandmother, to find some peace. But there was a strange fear hidden in the peace of this village. "No one tells, because no one knows how to stop it. It's an ancient force, Mina. It's the spirit of the forest, or maybe something more than that." The grandmother pursed her lips, as if swallowing a bitter medicine. "It awakens every few decades, and when it awakens, young people, they start disappearing." Mina's heart started beating fast. "Disappear? Where do they disappear to?" "Nobody knows. They just leave. One night, they're in bed asleep, and the next morning, they're gone. No trace, no screams, just an empty space." Grandma closed her eyes, as if to block out the horrific scene from before her eyes. And then, a few days later, their spirits come back from the forest. But they're not people anymore. What do you mean?" Mina's voice came out with difficulty. "They become slaves of the forest. Their eyes are vacant. There is a strange smile on their faces. They become their own shadows, dancing to the tune of the forest." Grandma opened her eyes and looked into Mina's eyes. "And then they spread terror in the village. They search for those who have not yet fallen into the clutches of the forest." Mina took a step back. It was all so unbelievable, yet the glint of truth in Grandma's eyes frightened her. "So what do we do then? We just wait?" "No, we pray. We protect ourselves. We don't go into the forest, especially at night, and we don't listen to its sounds." Grandma stretched out her hand and placed it on Mina's shoulder. Her fingers were cold. "Come inside now. This is not the night to stay out." Mina took one last look at the forest. Now it did not look just quiet and scary. It looked like a hungry animal, hidden in the darkness, waiting for its prey. She followed her grandmother inside the house, scared. Inside, the old wooden walls of the house were also making a strange noise in the silence of the night. Mina lay on the bed, her eyes open. Her grandmother's words were going through her mind. Young people disappearing, their souls coming back, slaves of the forest. It all seemed like a nightmare. "Have you fallen asleep, Mina?" Grandma's voice echoed in the darkness. No, Grandma, I can't sleep. Mina turned on her side. All this, it's scary. I know, but we have to stay strong, Grandma sighed. This forest, it has seen a lot, and so have we. This is our destiny. Is there any way to stop this? To break this curse? Mina asked. Nobody knows. Some stories say that there is an ancient tree in the center of the forest. That tree is the source of this power. If it is destroyed, but nobody dares to reach there. And even if someone reaches there, who has the power to destroy it? There was disappointment in Grandma's voice. Mina closed her eyes. She imagined that ancient tree beating in the heart of the forest, radiating this terrible power. A strange curiosity arose inside her. What if someone gets there? What if someone stops it? For the next few days, there was a strange silence in the village. Even in the sunlight, people looked scared. Children stayed indoors, their laughter had disappeared. In the evening, shops would close and the streets would become empty. There was a strange restlessness in the air, as if some invisible danger was looming. One afternoon, Mina went to the village well to fetch water. There were a few young boys standing there, whispering. One of them was Ravi, the bravest boy in the village. There was a strange sparkle in his eyes, a mixture of fear and excitement. I heard the forest is extra restless this time, Ravi told his friend. Yeah, I heard weird noises last night, the other boy replied in a whisper. Like someone crying, and then like someone laughing. Mina walked up to them. What are you guys talking about? Ravi looked at Mina, a challenge in his eyes. About the same old thing, Mina, about the forest. This time it seems stronger than before. And what are you going to do? Mina asked. We are going to do something, Ravi said, a firmness in his voice. We are not going to just sit there and wait to disappear. We have to do something. What will you do? Mina asked. We will go to the forest, Ravi said, his voice low. We will find that ancient tree. If he is real, we have to stop him. Mina's heart started pounding. Are you crazy? Grandma said no one dares to go there. Are you just going to sit there scared? Ravi looked sideways at Mina. This is our village, Mina. We have to protect it. This is our fight. Mina thought for a while. Grandma's warning, the fear of the village, and the courage seen in Ravi's eyes. She felt a strange pull. I will also come with you. Ravi was shocked. You? No, Mina. It is very dangerous. You are a girl. So what if I am a girl? I am also a daughter of this village, and if you are not afraid, then I will not be afraid either, Mina said with determination in her voice. Ravi looked into Mina's eyes for a while. Then he nodded. Okay, but you have to follow our rules, and if anything goes wrong, you have to return immediately. Mina nodded. I'm ready. That same night, in the dark, Ravi and his two friends, Sunil and Prakash, headed towards the forest with Mina. They had old torches in their hands, whose light was flickering in the darkness. The entrance to the forest looked like a huge, gaping monster. The branches of the trees, like black, crooked fingers, were pulling them in. As they entered, the sounds of the forest grew louder. The rustling of the leaves in the wind turned into a whisper, as if some invisible creature was speaking to them. The roots of the trees, like snakes, spread out on the ground, trying to entangle themselves around their legs. This is really scary, Sunil whispered, his voice shaking with fear. Keep calm, Ravi said. We have to focus. We have to find that tree. They moved forward slowly, cautious at every step. In the torchlight, the shadows of the trees formed strange shapes, as if someone was staring at them. Mina's heart began to beat faster. She felt as if everything in the forest was watching her, following her. Suddenly, Prakash stopped. Ravi, I can hear something. Everyone stopped. A strange sound was floating in the air, as if someone was singing from a distance, or perhaps crying. The sound was strange, sweet, and terrifying at the same time. "What is this?" Mina asked in a whisper. It's the sound of the jungle," Ravi said, his voice also filled with fear. "It draws you in." As they moved forward, the sound grew louder. It had now turned into a melody that numbed the mind. Mina felt as if someone was whispering in her ears, calling her to him. Her eyes searched for something among the trees, something that would lead her to the source of this sound. Suddenly, Sunil shouted, "Look!" In the light of the torch, they saw an old broken statue. The statue was of a woman with her arms outstretched, as if she was hugging someone. But her face was distorted, and her eyes were vacant. There were some strange markings all over the statue, as if someone had made them with blood.
"What is this?" Mina asked, her throat dry. It's something old," said Ravi. "Maybe it's the goddess of the forest or something." As they approached the statue, the air grew colder. The sound grew louder, now turning into a scream that was tearing their eardrums. The branches of the trees began to shake, as if they were pulling them in. Suddenly, the light fell to the ground. He held his ears tightly, a pained look on his face. It's too fast." Ravi and Mina tried to wake him up, but he was in pain. His eyes became vacant, and a strange smile came on his face. "Prakash, what happened to you?" Ravi shook him. Prakash looked at Ravi, but there was no recognition in his eyes. He stood up and slowly started moving towards a deeper part of the forest. "Prakash, where are you going?" Sunil tried to stop him, but the light did not stop. It moved forward like a zombie, its movements slow and scary. In a few moments, it disappeared into the darkness. "No!" Sunil screamed. "He's gone!" Ravi shook his head. "This is the one Grandma told me about. The jungle has taken him over." Mina's heart was trembling with fear. She saw the light disappear from her eyes. It was all so real, so terrifying. "We must go back, Ravi. We must get out of here." "No!" Ravi said, his voice firm, but his face also showed fear. "We can't leave him like this. We have to stop him. And we have to find that tree." They moved forward, but now there was fear in every step they took. Every tree reminded them of the light, which had now become the slave of the forest. The sound was still echoing in their ears, but now it seemed more terrifying than before. Suddenly, they sensed a strange smell. The smell was sweet, but there was something rotten in it. As they moved forward, the smell became stronger. Then they saw. There were some things scattered on the ground between the trees. Old bones, dried leaves, and some clothes that a human might have worn at some point. And between them, there was a strange glow. "What is this?" Sunil asked, his voice shaking. Ravi shone the torchlight on the glow. It was an old, broken locket. Inside the locket was an old photograph of a young boy and girl laughing. It's my grandfather's locket," Sunil cried. "He disappeared when I was a child." Mina picked up the locket. It was the same locket that Sunil had told her about many times, that his grandfather always carried it with him. This meant they were in the right place, or at least close to the place where the forest showed its terrible power. Just then, the ground began to shake. There was a deep rumbling sound, as if a huge animal was moving underground. The branches of the trees began to shake violently, and a strange energy was felt in the air. "What is going on?" Mina asked. "I think we're almost there," Ravi said, his eyes searching for something in the darkness. The thunder grew louder, and then a huge, black shadow rose in front of them. The shadow was so big that it even blocked the light of the moon. As they got closer, they saw that it was a tree, a very huge, ancient tree. Its roots extended so deep into the ground that they looked like a labyrinth. The trunk of the tree was black and distorted, as if countless faces and hands were hidden in it. And its branches, they were tearing at the sky as if they wanted to catch something terrible. "That's it," Ravi whispered.
that ancient tree. A strange light was emanating from the tree, which was glowing in the darkness. The light was green, and some strange shapes were moving in it, as if spirits were dancing. And from the trunk of the tree, the same horrifying sound was coming, which was numbing their minds. "We have to stop this," Mina said, her voice firm despite her fear. "But how?" "I don't know," said Ravi, "but we have to do something." Suddenly, a strong wind blew from the tree. The wind was so strong that they fell to the ground. When they opened their eyes, they saw something coming out of the tree. They were figures, bluey and transparent. They were floating in the air, and their eyes were vacant. They looked human, but there was no emotion on their faces. They were the same people who had become slaves of the forest. "They're coming!" cried Sunil. The figures slowly started moving towards them. Their movements were slow, but there was a strange glow in their eyes, which was scaring them. "Run!" screamed Ravi. They stood up and started to run, but the figures were chasing them fast. It was difficult to run in the forest. The roots were tangling around their feet, and the branches were stopping them. Just then, Mina got an idea. She remembered what her grandmother had said. It is the spirit of the forest, or maybe something more than that, and about that scary tree. "Ravi, we have to destroy the tree," Mina screamed. "That's the only way." "How?" asked Ravi, panting. "I don't know, but we have to do something," said Mina. A figure came close to them. She looked like a young girl with disheveled hair. Her eyes were vacant, and she had a strange smile on her face. "Ravi, Sunil, you distract the tree. I'll try something," said Mina. Ravi and Sunil nodded, and they ran towards the figures, trying to push them away. Mina ran towards the tree. The tree was huge, and its roots went deep into the ground. Mina closed her eyes, and she gathered all her strength. He remembered his grandmother's words, the fear of the villagers, and the souls of all those who were trapped in this forest. He felt something awakening inside him, something that could give him the strength to fight this tree. He placed his hands on the trunk of the tree. The trunk was cold and rough, as if it was alive. As soon as his hands touched the tree, he felt a strange energy. The energy started running through his body. He felt a strange warmth. Just then, a loud scream came from the tree. The scream was so terrifying that Mina felt like her ears would burst. The tree began to shake, and its branches moved violently, as if it was in pain. "It's working!" shouted Ravi. Mina opened her eyes. The green light from the tree had become brighter, and some strange shapes were coming out of it, which were dissolving in the air. The trunk of the tree started to crack, and some black liquid started flowing from it. The figures that were surrounding them suddenly stopped. The shine in their eyes disappeared, and they seemed to dissolve into the air, as if they never existed. Mina gathered all her strength, and she tried to push the tree. The tree shrieked louder, and then, with a bang, it exploded. A bright light came out, which illuminated the entire forest. The light was so bright that Mina had to close her eyes. When she opened her eyes, she saw that the tree was no longer there. There was a huge pit in its place, and some strange energy was coming out of it. The forest had gone quiet. There was no eerie sound in the wind anymore, only the rustling of the leaves, and the figures, they had all disappeared. Ravi and Sunil ran to Mina. There was relief on their faces, but their eyes were still in shock. We did it?" Sunil asked, his voice shaking. "I think so," Mina said, panting. Her body ached, but her heart felt strangely peaceful. They slowly came out of the forest. As they got closer to the village, they noticed that the sun was rising. The rays of the sun were falling on the forest, and the forest now looked calm and beautiful. In the village, people were coming out of their houses. There was a strange calm on their faces, as if they had woken up from a bad dream. Grandma was standing at the door, her eyes fixed towards the distant forest. As soon as he saw Meena, Ravi, and Sunil, a smile came on his face. The smile was filled with relief and pride. "You came back," Grandma said, tears in her voice. "Yes, Grandma," said Meena, "and we stopped him." Grandma hugged Meena. "I am proud of you, my child. You did what no one else could do." A wave of happiness ran through the village. People started celebrating. The atmosphere of fear was over. But Meena knew that this was just a beginning. The curse of the forest was broken, but its memories would always remain with them. Night fell. Meena lay on her bed, her eyes open. She looked out the window. The forest now looked quiet and beautiful, but she knew that there were still mysteries hidden in its depths. Suddenly, she heard a sound. The sound was soft, but it had a strange melody. It was the same sound that she had heard in the forest. But now it didn't sound scary. It was sweet and there was a strange peace in it. Meena got up from the bed and went to the window. She saw a faint glow coming out of the forest. The glow was green and some strange shapes were moving in it. But they didn't look scary anymore. They were beautiful and there was a strange glow in them. Meena closed her eyes. She felt as if the forest was talking to her, telling her something, but she could not understand what it was. Suddenly, he remembered a face. It was the face of Prakash, who disappeared into the forest. And then he remembered another face, the face of a young girl, who was one of the figures. Meena opened her eyes. She saw that the glow had become brighter, and some strange sounds were coming out of it, as if someone was whispering. "Meena," the voice said. The voice was sweet, and there was a strange sweetness in it. Meena's heart began to beat. It was the same sound that she had heard in the forest, but now it did not seem frightening. It was calling her, pulling her towards it. "Who are you?" Meena asked in a whisper. I am the forest," the voice said. "I am the one who has slept for centuries, and now I have awakened." Meena was shocked. But we destroyed you." "You have only destroyed a part," the voice said. "You have destroyed the part that was full of evil, but the heart of the forest, it is still beating." Meena thought for a while. "So you are not bad anymore?" "No," the voice said. "I'm not bad anymore. I'm calm now, but I still need power, and I still need souls." Meena's heart trembled with fear. What do you mean?" "This means that you are mine now," the voice said. "You have awakened me, Meena, and now you must stay with me." Meena took a step back. "No, I won't. I'm human." "You are no longer just a person," the voice said. "You have my power within you. You have touched me, and now you are connected to me." Meena looked at her hands. She felt as if something was glowing in them. She was trembling with fear. "No, no," Meena cried out. But the voice grew louder. "You are mine, Meena, and now you must stay with me forever." Meena closed her eyes. She felt as if the forest was pulling her in. She felt as if her soul was being torn away from her. The next morning, the village was peaceful again. The sun had risen and the air was fresh. But in Meena's house, her grandmother was sitting alone. There were tears in her eyes. Meena had disappeared. Her bed was empty, and there was no trace of her. Only an old, dried leaf lay on her pillow. The leaf was green and had a strange shine to it. Grandma picked up the leaf. She knew where Meena had gone. She had gone into the forest to become a part of it. And now, the forest was quiet again. But this time, there was a strange sadness in its silence. A few weeks later, everything was back to normal in the village. People returned to their work and children were playing again. But at night, some people heard strange sounds. The sounds were sweet and had a strange melody. And sometimes, when the moonlight fell on the forest, some people would see a faint glow. The glow was green, and a strange figure was moving in it. The figure looked like a young girl with disheveled hair. Her eyes were vacant, and there was a strange smile on her face.
And the villagers knew who she was. She was Mina, who had now become a part of the forest. And the forest, once home to evil, was now home to a different kind of power. A power that was silent, but equally terrifying. And the stories of the forest were still told, but now they were not just stories of fear. They were the story of a girl who changed the forest, but also changed herself. And this story will always live in the hearts of the people of the village with fear and respect. And sometimes, when someone went close to the lonely forest, he would hear a whisper, "You are mine." The voice was sweet, and there was a strange sweetness in it. And listening to that voice, people knew that the forest was still alive, and it was still looking for its souls. And Mina, she was now the queen of the forest, waiting for her subjects. It was an eternal cycle, a story that would never end. The forest would always be there, calling its spirits, and the village would always be afraid, but still live. And Mina, she would always be there in the forest, a warning and a mystery.